July 5th, 2017 marked the end of an era, the fall of a man no one knew, but who controlled a shadowy empire, a multimillionaire, and the creator of the largest criminal site on the dark web. Today we will tell the story of the hunt for the king of the dark web. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to subscribe now and don't forget to leave a like. Now let's get into the story. The dark web. For those who don't know, the dark web is the deepest, most hidden layer of the internet. It's not like the normal websites you visit daily. Accessing it requires specific programs and technical knowledge that only the most experienced have. In this realm, encryption is extremely complex, addresses and links have no apparent logic, and only those who know exactly what they're doing can navigate there. And it is precisely in this digital labyrinth where the worst of the internet hides. Unlike the deep web, which is a broader term and also includes legitimate content, the dark web is infamous territory, a true digital underworld where illegal activities occur. We're talking about crimes such as drug trafficking, weapons sales, forged documents, hacking, money laundering, and even hiring hitmen. One of the first and most notorious markets to emerge in this dark environment was Silk Road. Created in 2011, the site offered a catalog of drugs and illicit goods to anyone who knew how to access it. In a short time, it became the largest black market online, facilitating criminal transactions between users and vendors worldwide. But in 2013, the FBI dismantled Silk Road, arresting its founder, Ross Ulbricht, who is now serving a life sentence. However, when one empire falls, others rise to take its place, and in the void left behind, a new and even more powerful site emerged, Alphabay. Created with the intention of being bigger and more secure than Silk Road, it quickly became the new hub for criminal operations on the dark web. Cryptocurrency transactions, advanced anonymity tools, and a vast catalog of illegal products made it the largest black market in the digital underworld. But who was behind this new platform that dominated the dark web? A man known only by his pseudonym, Alpha02. Thus began the rise of the king who, for years, lived in the shadows, amassing millions, until his identity finally began to unravel. The birth of Alphabay. Alphabay quickly carved out its space in the depths of the dark web, growing at an impressive speed. In less than a year, what had begun as a modest platform for selling confidential information transformed into a true empire of digital crime. Forged documents, stolen identities, drugs, chemical weapons, malware, and even hacking services were available to users, who made their purchases as if they were on a regular marketplace. But here, everything was anonymous. Cryptocurrency, such as Bitcoin, was fundamental to the success of the site. With transactions that were nearly impossible to trace, users bought and sold without fear of revealing their identities. This made Alphabay an extremely attractive environment for those looking to profit or acquire illegal products and services without leaving a trace. By 2015, Alphabay had over 200,000 registered users and 40,000 vendors, offering everything from drugs and weapons to hacking tools and forged documents. Everything was for sale, as long as it didn't violate some internal site rules. Curiously, crimes against children and material related to Russia were prohibited. The rest? It was fair game. Before long, the numbers began to impress even the most seasoned players in this digital underworld. At its peak in 2017, the site was handling over $500,000 a day with Alphabay's creator, the enigmatic Alpha02, earning between 2% and 4% of each transaction. But the question everyone was asking was, who was behind Alphabay? Who was the man commanding this shadowy empire? For years, Alpha02 remained in the shadows, orchestrating the pieces of this vast scheme without anyone knowing his true identity. He was the king of the dark web, living like a ghost, untouchable. Until, like all empires built on illegality, Alphabay began to crumble. Who was Alpha02? The name Alpha02 was still a mystery, but with every step the investigators took, it became clear that his time was running out. A mistake made in the early days of the site revealed a crucial lead. A welcome email sent to the first users of Alphabay had an unusual and unexpected sender, Pimpalex91. At that moment, a simple error became the key piece that the FBI was desperately searching for. With this small slip, Investigators began to piece together the puzzle. From that email, they were able to trace the alias and connect it to the name of a real man, Alexandre Cazès, a 26-year-old Canadian born in Quebec, who had never attracted the attention of authorities until then. Cazès was a talented programmer, someone with extensive knowledge of digital security, cryptocurrencies, and the workings of the deep web. On the surface, he led an apparently ordinary life, but behind the screens, he controlled the largest illegal marketplace in the world. With the success of Alphabay, Cazès' discreet life began to transform. His old posts on forums revealed a young man enthusiastic about technology, but soon he became a multimillionaire, flaunting a life of luxury in Bangkok, Thailand. With the fortune amassed from his operations on Alphabay, Cazès purchased mansions, luxury cars, and lived like a king in Southeast Asia. However, his ostentatious lifestyle drew the attention of investigators who were already monitoring his movements. The FBI, now with the help of Thai authorities and intelligence agencies from several countries, was tightening the net around Alexandre Cazès. They knew they were dealing with a smart and meticulous man, but that slip-up at the beginning of his operation was the missing piece to connect the digital world to the real man behind the Alphabay empire. In July 2017, the hunt came to an end. After months of surveillance and intense investigation, the FBI was ready to act, and the empire of Alpha 02 was about to crumble. The international hunt. With Alexandre Cazès living a life of luxury in Thailand, capturing him would be a delicate task. Authorities knew that it was not enough to just arrest him. The goal was to destroy Alphabay completely. This meant gaining full access to the servers, transactions, and the vast network of users spread across the globe. But for this, they needed to catch Cazès by surprise, before he had the chance to delete any evidence. Investigators also discovered that Cazès owned 3 luxury properties, including a $3 million mansion, in addition to expensive cars and a life surrounded by wealth. Knowing that he was a programming genius and that any suspicious movement could alert him, authorities needed to devise a meticulous plan. The plan was simple but risky. Lure Cazès out of his house without him suspecting a thing. And that's exactly what they did. On July 5, 2017, with the support of the Thai police, the authorities put the plan into action. The operation began with a staged car accident, which led to Alexandre Cazès being approached and arrested without resistance. But the real triumph was happening inside his home. While he was being detained, investigators stormed his mansion and, to the authorities' luck, found his electronic devices still connected and unlocked. With this, they gained full access to Alphabay, including its servers, databases, and transactions. This moment was crucial. Accessing Cazès' computers provided everything the authorities needed to take down Alphabay once and for all. The cryptocurrencies, documents, communications between sellers and buyers, everything was within their reach. In a matter of hours, the empire of Alexandre Cazès, which had been moving millions of dollars daily, was destroyed. Alphabay, which had already surpassed the legendary Silk Road, was offline forever. The end of the empire. With the arrest of Alexandre Cazès, what seemed impossible had been achieved. Alphabay, the largest illicit marketplace on the dark web, was officially dismantled. Authorities celebrated the success of the operation, which had not only taken down one of the world's major centers of criminal activity, but also eliminated over 250,000 illegal listings. Among these listings were drugs of all kinds, forged documents, and extremely dangerous computer viruses sold to anyone wanting to spread digital chaos. Alphabay operated without limits, offering everything prohibited by law, with security ensured by cryptocurrencies and the secretive nature of the dark web. With the end of Alphabay, investigations revealed that Cazès had amassed an impressive fortune. Estimates suggest he held over $23 million in cryptocurrencies, a true digital empire built on crime. Imprisoned and facing serious charges, Alexandre Cazès was indicted on 16 counts, including conspiracy to traffic drugs, money laundering, and other crimes related to the operation of Alphabay. It was the end of an era for the king of the dark web, who would now face justice. However, Cazès' fate took a tragic turn. While awaiting trial where he could face decades in prison, he was found dead in his cell. According to official reports, Alexandre Cazès took his own life just days after his arrest. in a final gesture that shocked many but, for some, symbolized the definitive fall of the empire he had created. And so, with his death, ended the story of one of the largest criminal empires the dark web had ever seen. Alphabay had been destroyed, and its creator, who operated in the shadows, had fallen. But the question remains, is the end of Alphabay the definitive end of these criminal markets? Or are other empires growing in the shadows, waiting for their turn to dominate the dark web? The fall of Alphabay was a landmark in the fight against cybercrime, but the dark web remains a dangerous territory. What began with Silk Road culminated in Alphabay, but new sites always emerge from the shadows. If you enjoyed today's story, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment on what else you would like to see here. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks.